shows dodging D-line walls. End zone dreams in the hearts of teams. Hustle on the field, ain't no in-betweens. As the football spirals, fate unravels. Heartbeats sink, players travel. Grind don't stop, whistle blows echo. Field warriors, the heroes. Echo, cleats dig deep, turf beneath. Receivers leap like a midnight thief. Touchdown dances, crowd in trances. Game time magic, endless chances. As the football spirals, fate unravels. Heartbeats sink, players travel. Grind don't stop, whistle blows echo. Field warriors, the heroes. Echo. Coaches with plans, plays drawn in sand. Grit and sweat, team tighter than a band. Hail Mary hopes, defenders in scopes. Victory's a taste, better than a rope. Cheers rain loud, pride in the crowd. Moments freeze, memories are vowed. Helmet to helmet, clash and conquer. Legends born, others left to ponder. As the football spirals, fate unravels. Heartbeats sink, players travel. Grind don't stop, whistle blows echo. Field warriors, the heroes. Echo. Cleats dig deep, turf beneath. Receivers leap like a midnight thief. Touchdown dances, crowd in trances. Game time magic, endless chances. As the football spirals, fate unravels. Heartbeats sink, players travel. Grind don't stop, whistle blows echo. Field warriors, the heroes. Echo. Coaches with plans, plays drawn in sand. Grit and sweat, team tighter than a band. Hail Mary hopes, defenders in scopes. Victory's a taste, better than a rope.
And hello, everybody. Hopefully, you guys like the intro there. Just wanted to say thank you for logging in. We had a very successful first podcast, so thank you for everybody being interactive and really just a lot of fun. So I think I really want to shout out Bailey for jumping on board and just enjoying the time. And I thought it was good. We had a lot of interaction. I'd like to get a little bit more today. So today we have guest speaker William Shivers coming on. Shivs is a well, I'll get into that in a second, but I do want to talk about this week. Very exciting. We have the ECFL and the NEAFL kickoff this week. Should be week one, so it's going to be amazing. Some really good games. We have the Cardinals versus the Warhawks in the East Coast Football League. That is a rematch from 2 years ago championship game. And then we have on the NEAFL a rematch of last year's championship, which is the Bullies and the Militia. So both of those games are going to be really good. Some really top quality teams. Really interested to see how it all works out, this week and see what happens. Are there going to be upsets? Is it going to be a great game? It's just really fun to see. So that being said, if you guys have any questions, you want to just give any feedback or anything, please shoot some messaging. Shoot that message on the comment section so we can, chat, be interactive with each other. The other thing I'd like to have, if you guys can, like and subscribe our page, it really helps us a lot. Where we can grow this to be bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think that's overall goal is get this podcast to really shine out there. So that's kind of what I want. I want to start covering all of New England. And I think it'll be a lot of really good stuff once the season gets rolling. Some other big news that I do want to share. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it, but the Detroit Ravens, they actually played in the AIF team team in the American International Indoor Football League. American Indoor Football League, and really, really good team. And they ended up being a very close game. The final score was 65-44. But what's really neat about that is the Ravens, which I know a lot because I scouted the Motor City Rams a couple of years ago when we played them in the Nationals, and Detroit Ravens. We watched, and they're a really good team. I believe the Admirals beat them in Nationals that year to win national championships. So the Ravens have been a high quality team. But what's really neat is they played an indoor professional football team, and when they played that, it was people thought they were going to blow them out. It was a really close game. The score, although it was a three touchdown game, was a lot closer than that. It kind of got away at the end of the game, but they really show that they can hang right there with the best of the best in professional leagues out there. So I thought that was really cool for semi-pro football in general, and we'll get into that a little more. But I do want to thank everybody for being here. Once again, if you can like and subscribe, that'll be great, and really grow this podcast going. But we do have with us is the two-time reigning champions of the East Coast Football League in the spring. Shiv's just logged in with us. Shivs, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How do I sound on your podcast?
Awesome. I think it sounds pretty good. I'm gonna give me one more test.
All right, test 1 2 1 2.
All right, you're a little quiet, but I'll get your volume up. Hopefully, I don't blow the people out of there. So, yeah, practice today. How's practice going?
I just left the field. We had about 55 guys are running around. They're excited. We pretty much locked up all the little things you need to do before game day, and we're just waiting and ready to defend our championships.
Love that. So, two-time defending champion going up against the Warhawks, who you guys played 2 years ago for the championship, which I was up there with you watching that game. It was a great game. Teams have changed 2 years. A lot of things have changed, and this league is also getting bigger and better as well. What do you think for preparation? Do you prepare differently, or do you kind of take what they did a couple of years ago or last year and kind of like use the same game plans? What's your kind of thoughts on that?
So every year they start us off with walks. It's almost like one of y'all's taking it out. We're not going to have two undefeated teams in the Super Bowl, and I don't know if that's planned or if it's just like straight to schedule or whatever it is. But whatever, we'll take it. You know what I mean? The good thing about us in the Warhawks is no one's going to leave anything on that field come Saturday. Nobody. We're going to use every play, every player. We're going to air it out. We're going to run the rock. We're going to blitz. We're going to cover 2, cover 3. We're going to do everything we can to win that game. The big thing with us this year is, like, the goal obviously will be one win at a time. That's the goal. But I mean, we want natty. We want natty. We want the notoriety that comes with being a 3-time champion. You know, I've done it before, back to back to back. So, like, these guys, they're hungry for that. And the good thing about it is, like, people talk about what they want to do and what they want to be good at. I go to practice and I see these guys and they're hungry. You know, they're flying around. They're diving on the turf carpet here at the Bridgewater Dome to get footballs. You know what I mean? So you can see the difference this year. Last year, you know, I don't ever want to say it was a talent thing, but, you know, we surprised a few teams with how talented we were. This year, I think everyone's going to get to see a great overall semi-pro package. I'm really excited.
Yeah, that is great to hear with that. And for some reason, I have to add you a picture on here. So they're not showing up here. Here we go. I got a nice little graphic for you. So you can't see you can't see this going on right now, right? You can only see me.
I can only see you. I see myself, but like I said, this place, the Bridgewater Dome, it is like a factory, bro. So if you can't see me, my apologies, guys.
No, I got you now. I got you loaded in now. That's just me because I was getting excited to start with everything, and second show, still a little bit of bumps, but now I got you now, so everybody can see your beautiful face now.
I'm excited, dude. You've been a semi-pro for years. This is great. This is great for the product. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thanks, man. I figured it's something that we need out there. Just so you know, I have your name and your team and everything underneath your face right now, so I'm trying to get a little bit more professional, and I think every week I'm trying to bring something new to the table to get this, because I feel that one thing semi-pro has been missing. I kind of opened this up today with like notoriety and getting players out there, getting them noticed. One really cool thing that I don't know if you heard the opening, but Detroit Ravens, they played the Ironmen out in the AIF, I forget, AIL, AIF, whatever, it's American
So we were
American
talking
football.
about it at our field. So that's one of the things that our staff is pretty good at. We have a lot of film. We review everybody. You never know who you're going to face.
Right.
I faced Detroit down in Florida a few years back with the Gladiators. So, I know very much what they're capable of. And, for them to do what they did, I mean, that's part of the course. You know what I mean? They're a great team. And the other team is a great team as well. But, you expect great teams to do great things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't too surprised.
Yeah, did you catch any of the game? Or because what's really cool is if you didn't know, 3 of the Ravens players have gotten contracts to play professionally now because of that game.
You love that, though. You love to hear stuff like that. And that's the stuff that doesn't get talked about enough, but you're talking about it on your podcast, so now somebody knows there's hope.
Yeah, and I think that's what this is. When I thought of it, and I think I said it last year, when I first started semi-pro, I was like, I can't play semi-pro football. These guys are going to kill me. Like, I can kick. I kicked in high school, and I showed up, and I'm like, damn, I'm better than half these players. I can play. So that's how I got addicted to it. And like a lot of people don't understand what semi-pro football is, and it's like, it is amazing with the talent that you have in your squads, and players like you coached Nick Rossi, who played with the Detroit Lions. I don't know if Powdrell was still with you. I think he was gone, but Powdrell played in the NFL. Like, you have these players that they play, and you can tell they're like the level. I'm not gonna say it's like close, but we have some players in this league that they could be playing at professional and getting paid to play. Guys like Chewy,
no question.
And
no question.
Guys. So
a lot of the players I had could have at least got an NIL deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
If those NIL deals are in the millions, people need to really start taking this more seriously. Then, you know what I mean? Transfer into a low-level school, transfer into somewhere bigger, and get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And
so when I got on with the Glads, when I first took over the team, we lost about 30 players.
Wow.
So like we were really it was interesting. When John left, a lot of guys just opted to retire.
Okay.
So Mark Polson and the Polson family, big family in semi-pro. I brought them on board, and they helped me fill out the schedule with guys that I played with and guys that I just knew.
Yeah.
And playing for me is easy. All you have to do is do your job. I'll take care of everything else. I'll make sure the bills are paid. I'll make sure the jerseys are good. I'll do what needs to be done for me. As an owner, just do your job. Play football. Coach. You know what I mean? If you're gonna run the concession stand, make sure them burgers aren't pink, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's all I ask.
Yeah.
Don't ask no one to step outside their lanes. Everyone just do what they do, and we'll be successful. And over the last 10 years, it's worked.
Yeah, and that's great. Like, you're one of the legendary owners out there that you have a bunch of championships, and that's because I always tell people it starts from the top down. You have 10 championships.
I think I'm up to 10 now. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Everything I tell every time, it starts from the top down, and I've had some really good teams. I've had some really bad teams. So like I've been both really good, really bad, and you just got to stay the same and say, listen, players are going to leave because they're getting sold something else. Just stick to your passion, stick to what you believe in, and they're going to come back. Because all those guys, when they left my team, they all came back. And it's like, all right, I did something right. They thought the grass was greener, but no, they said, no, we'll come back over here. And
then I was at your championship game watching you guys win the championship.
It was
That's
great.
how it goes.
Great feeling.
Semi-pro in a nutshell. The grass is always greener somewhere else except where you're watering.
Exactly.
So you got to get the guys the fact that this is where you need to be.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I've just got a message here from Jeff. It says, jump from semi-pro to the pro is real. Jerome Cunningham from the West Connecticut Militia got signed with the New York Giants over the last 10 years. So, you can get there. And, I mean, I know, like I said, Jerry Chumaki was trying to get into the CFL. And, I know players that have been successful. But I always tell players here, you probably agree, it's like, I said it last week as well, like, semi-pro, all that means is that the only thing semi is the practices. Everything else, we do full on out, like, professional. So it's up to players. If they want to get to that level, they got to work out at least 5 days a week. They're going to do things when they're not practicing. So
you're right. And it can't be one of the things that I know Dave Rodriguez. You remember Dave Rodriguez?
Of course, D-Rod.
Yeah, another legendary undefeated coach. Dave used to always say this to every player who came to the Gladiators when we were running the team. I'm not here to teach you football. We're not here to teach you to run drills. We're not here to have you block it on the block. We're not here to do none of that. We're going to go over the game plan for the weekend, and either you can play football or you can't. And that's the basics of it.
Yeah.
And like we would have guys come and, hey, how do you want me to block? Hey, how do you want me to run this skinny post or this slant? And Dave would be like, take him out the game. I'm not here to teach you that. I'm going to tell you the routes. You're going to run them, and if you run them well, we're going to use you. And it works. It really does. But these guys have to buy into the fact that if you're going to be a football player, you're a football player on Monday. You're a football player on Thursday. You're a football player on Tuesday. You can't be slamming back Hennessy culottes and chicken wings every day and expect to still be a running back.
That's what happened to me.
You gotta take it serious.
Absolutely, yeah. That's 100%. You know, like believe it or not, I was 180 pounds when I played. Like I was a lot thinner now, but like I said, chicken wings, honey, and all that stuff, it gets to you. So, you know, like players, how do you manage? Do you have to manage players at all as an owner? You just kind of let the coaches kind of do the things, tell the guys what the expectations are, and go, right?
By the time it gets to me, it's already a problem.
Gotcha.
So if I have a player come to me, it's already a problem. If I have a coach come to me, it's already a problem. At that point, it's administrative. So it's like, hey, you're not a good fit here. Here's your dues back. Have a great day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of times that flips the whole scenario around.
Yeah.
You'll get an apology Tuesday. Them and whoever they had an issue with is over with, and they're back at practice on Wednesday. You know what I mean? I think I've only had one player who I had to physically tell, you are no longer a part of the team. He went to the league president, Tom Teresi, and he said, hey, he won't let me play on his team. And I'm like, there's nothing Tom can do to help you. So Tom gives me a call, hey, Shivs, you know, it'd be really nice if you let him play on your team. I was like, you are out of your rabbit mind if you think I'm going to let somebody play that doesn't fit the culture just because you said so. I've never experienced that anywhere else. That was the only one time that's ever happened. So if it gets to me, it's usually a problem at that point, and then we either make the decision to sever the connection or we figure out a way to work it out by the next practice.
Yeah, perfect. And that's something that is good to hear because there are a lot of people that are afraid because they have a talent player and they're there and they're like, I can't kick this guy off the team. And like D-Rod and I, when we started the Gladiators, we kicked like 3 or 4 people off the first season. And like we weren't even good yet. We're 5-5, you know, and we were just trying to build that culture. So it's good that
and
you
we
say
carried
that.
it on. We carried that on. And D-Rod kicked the guy off the team the very first game at the table where you come to sign in. So don't think that stopped. You know what I mean? That was something we carried that along.
Yeah.
And it's funny. This is a good one. We're in Brooklyn. We just beat Brooklyn, and I got into an altercation with a player.
From Brooklyn?
So we go, it was, oh God, a star player, like an amazing player. So we go into the locker room and we're about to just bang it out. And then Jake and Dave come in and they diffuse the whole situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, you got to understand, we're human too. Like, listen, I'm a grown man. I'm a human. You know, you can get me riled up and, you know, I have my moments. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think I've been memed enough through semi-pro history with my moments, but you got to maintain some level of professionalism. And I think that's something that, you know, a lot of the great owners kind of try to do. You know, we like you get pushed to some limits, but you got to remember the purpose, the people's lives that you're positively affecting. You know, the guys you're keeping off the streets, the person that you helped get into college, the kid who's going to play his first down at UMass Dartmouth because you gave him a platform to show that he can play football. Those are the things that matter. Not the team that you beat 7 times in a row on a message board talking about this and that. You know what I mean? The people whose lives you positively matter, that's what matters. And like I'll do it year after year for as long as I can.
That's exactly, hit the nail. That's exactly why, you know, we do what we do. You know, I love the game of football, but having a chance to get players to have an outlet where they can play the game still is great. And not only players, I think a lot of players don't know, there's a lot of coaches that lives we save. And I remember, I think it was actually, with the Gladiators, we had a coach, and I'll keep his name off, but he was a military man, and had his whole platoon like die in front of him. So like there was like 5 people left, and all of them were committing suicide, and he was going to do it next, but came in to coach, and I'll never forget after the season when we won the championship, the first one, 2010. He was like, "Coach, you saved my life." And I'm like, he's an older gentleman, like older than me at the time. I'm just like, well, he's still older than me now, but at the time he was older than me. So he was like, "You saved my life by bringing me onto this team and allowing me to coach here." And like that was such a eye opening. Like it's not just players. If that's like everybody, that just made me love the sport and love what we do so much. And like I said, honestly, if I didn't have an eye issue, I would probably still be owning the Hurricanes, winning championships all the time. But it's I had to give it up at the time. It was not my choice. It was physically couldn't do anything. So.
But here's the weird part about this, and I've experienced it many times. You don't join semi-pro. You accidentally fall into this. Somehow, some way, somebody introduces you to it, and you never leave.
Yep.
But then when you leave semi-pro, it's not because of your choice. Usually something takes you out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like people rarely, and really, because you and I know 9 or 10 different people who've retired that we still see on sidelines to this day.
Yep.
So that's one of the hardest things about semi-pro too, getting out. And like sometimes it is health. Like last year, after the first game of our spring season, I was having respiratory issues the entire season. I might have went to 2 more games, but I watched every single game on the live stream. I took care of every administrative thing we needed, and we were available for each game, looking the part, doing what we got to do, and we won the championship. I didn't even make it to the championship game because I was sick then too.
Wow.
So I thought, hey, this is God telling me it's my way out the door. You know what I mean? Like, this is it. He's letting me know this is my time to get out. And then I got better.
Okay. I was going to ask you, are you better now? Everything's good?
So, yeah. Like, I still have a little bit of breathing issues, but I'm making the most. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If this is his way of gradually phasing me out, then what better way than with a 3-peat?
There you go. That's beautiful. It's really, as you said, it's not. We don't. I feel like that's the brotherhood. It's like once you're in, you're always in. And my mentor, actually, Ron St. George, he just passed away not too long ago, a couple months ago with cancer, and he was 78, 79 years old. But I learned my whole football life. I learned everything I know from football. I learned from him. And he would always say, "I've forgotten more football than you know." That was one of his sayings. But he used to play semi-pro football, and he played for the Plymouth Rocks way back in the 70s. And it's funny how he was a Hall of Fame high school football coach, won lots of championships, like amazing person, amazing coach, and he was still like, best times of my life was semi-pro football. Like I had so much fun playing. He called it not jailbreak, he called it the longest yard. the longest yard, yeah. You going to the longest yard tonight? Because it was semi-pro stuff. So it's but that's true. Like once you do this, and that's kind of what we form here, is just that brotherhood. And like being an owner, having that that's like that instant gratification must be a big reason why you do this.
It's tough because a lot of people, if you haven't been an owner, you don't understand what really goes into it. You know what I mean? Like even from a player perspective, when I was a player, I never really knew like what Delaney was doing. I never knew what Peter Kane was doing. I never had any idea. I showed up, I paid my dues, I got a jersey, and I played ball. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I always paid on. You know what I mean? And then I became an owner. I realized this is insanity wrapped in a nutshell in an enigma. You know what I mean? Like it is absolutely batshit crazy. However, you want to be your best at it. You know what I mean? Like it's like, hey, I'm in a storm, but you know what? I'm gonna be the best person to ever ride out this storm in history. And like that becomes the model. That becomes the thing. You know, if I'm gonna be in hell, let me be the best hell ride I've ever been. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you want to make sure that the guys that you're with get the best experience. Because I know I had bad owners. I had a bad experience with an owner that took our money and we never got the jerseys, and everything was always like late or half-assed. You know what I mean? Yep. I've seen it. So my goal is to just be the best I can be. And if there is a problem, I announce it early. We find a resolution, and I make sure everybody's involved and knows what's going on. If you keep people in the know, you'll be surprised how many of these grown men who are players will understand. It's when you start hiding stuff.
Yeah.
It's when you come to game day and it's like, oh, I forgot to tell you guys, we didn't do this or this. That's when it becomes a problem.
That's 100%. I've always told players I'm open to a policy, and now that I'm a commissioner, I tell all the owners like I'm transparent. Like I'm doing a
Dude, you're
freaking
killing
podcast.
it. You are killing it as a commissioner.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I wish I started a little earlier, but it's you gotta you get play the deal the hand that you're dealt with, right? So. As, I was going to say, piss in the prick you got. That's what Tito Santos used to say. I don't know if he's listening, but Tito, I don't know if you know Tito, coach at the Rage, and I heard that. I was like, that's a great saying.
I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
use that sometime this season.
It's pretty cool. So,
Yep.
yeah, I've heard a lot of, and that's another thing. Like, you just learn and get so much from all the people that you meet, and like, almost everybody I've met in Center Pro Football, I call my friend. It's
Yeah.
There are some people that maybe don't like me as much anymore, or didn't like me because I maybe started the team and around the area. But.
You cannot be successful in semi-pro and have everybody like you. It's
Absolutely.
just not possible. And honestly, I find that true in most things. It's just the nature of the beast. I got people that don't like me for no reason. Like this guy the other day, he was laughing at me because I didn't get my team into the league. And then he went and laughed at another team for signing my players. And I'm like, how do you wake up in the morning, get on the chat board, and that's the first thing you do? Have a breakfast sandwich, eat a Snickers, bro. Clearly something's got you like off tilt. You're a grown man. You know what I mean?
Yep.
In the end, everyone just puts on football pads and plays a game.
Absolutely.
And that's what it comes down to. But I say, for me, 80% of the people I run into end up, understanding me because I can come off a little bit, what's the word, champion-y. You know what I mean?
Elitist,
like,
right? Is that the word?
I can be a bit of a jerk every now and then. But I figure I got an 80-20 ratio. 80% of the people like me, 20% don't. I'm okay
But
with that.
I'll tell you what, 99% of the people respect you and respect what you've done. Just because they don't like you, I bet they still respect you. You've done a lot for semi-pro football.
You have to.
Yeah, and it's just so, great job with everything you've done. And what I always tell people is I don't care what people think about me. If you guys don't like me, oh well, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep going 100%. And you don't like me because you're probably jealous of me just, trying to be the best at everything I do. So
There was a time when I wanted everybody to like me.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I wanted to have the best jerseys. I wanted to have the best coaches, the best players, the best everything. And then I realized the better you get at any one thing, the more people will hate you.
Yep.
So just do whatever you want to do anyway, and just engulf the hate. Take it. It's really a compliment. Some of the most liked people in semi-pro just exist in the game. They don't aspire to be more than just part of the game, and that's okay for them.
Yep.
But I don't. My aspirations will always be to win, to be mentioned with the greatest. And I don't have to be the greatest, but if I'm mentioned, that's a pretty damn good company.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, this is funny. You're gonna get a kick out of this. You might have saw I posted the other day. One of the guys that doesn't like me says something like, "Oh, well, you don't have 100 years of winning on your side." I was like, "Bro, you expect me to win championships in 1984 when I was 3? Like what do you want from me? You know what I mean?
You should have been doing this when you're 3 years old. Come on, man.
Like, bro, I shouldn't have to be a champion at 12 when I'm doing like science. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I'm dissecting frogs, I'm supposed to be playing Marlboro in a championship game. Like, come on.
Yeah, everybody. Everybody's gonna start somewhere, and
right.
So I mean,
so the comparisons. That's what I mean, though. Like the fact that you're even comparing me to a 100-year team, or comparing me to a team that was flying in players from like Cali, I'll take that. Thank you. That's a high level of respect, regardless of how much venom you spit on it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that all that does is just say that somehow, some way, I'm doing the right thing, and the people that are around me, they're benefiting from it, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's exactly it. Like, if they're gonna compare you to, like I said, that's respect. I was saying they might not like you, but they respect you, even if it's not saying I respect you. Comparing you to a team that's won for 100 years, that's respect right there. And we've had that rivalry. Just so you'll know, like the whole. I know who you're talking about. I think because I saw one of those posts, and that rivalry goes back to 2003 when a lot of us played with the Outlaws. Maybe 2005. We're playing for the Outlaws, and there was a bet made with one of his brothers. I don't know if I should say names, but yeah, one individual for $1, right?
We won't justify their names. We'll just say individuals and people.
But it just turned into like a rivalry because when I left, I went 1 year with the Rage, and then when I left the Outlaws, it was kind of like I would say it was kind of ugly to leave when I left the Outlaws, and then I went to the Rage. I coached them, and first game of the season was the Outlaws, and we beat them. And all the players like called me, "Hey, start a team, we'll follow you. Start a team, we'll follow you." And I'm like, I'm not just gonna start a team. And then everybody got in my heads, and I had Dave Rodriguez and Chris Barry and Jake Santos, like all the guys. I'm like, oh, we got a pretty good line now. Like, maybe I will start this team, and that's what kind of culminated.
We got something cooking here.
Yeah, and then the Weymouth Sharks ended up folding, so all those guys kind of joined us, and we had 88 guys the first practice. We're like, what is this? I've never imagined that. So it just kind of that was like the I was actually gonna wear my Bridgewater Gladiators shirt, and speaking of people who might not like you, it's probably because they don't know you. There is somebody that. When I started that team in Bridgewater, we had the Bridgewater, what's the name of the bar that everybody goes to at Barrett's Ale House. So they sponsored us.
Barrett's.
And it was awesome. We go there after the games. We got $1.25 pizzas for all the players. Like it was an amazing atmosphere. And then we went back to D-Rod's house and drank all night till like 2 in the morning. Oh no, probably like 9 in the morning.
Tell me the stories.
Okay, so lots of fun. And but there was a guy on playing because. When I was building the Gladiators, I was just trying to find a field, right? And then a community that had football. And kind of did the same thing with Marchfield, where it's like, I want a community to build up. And Scituate said no. I was like going through all these towns, and then I'm like just driving. I'm like, yeah, Bridgewater has a good tradition. They said yes. And I was like, cool. Like and I didn't even dawn on me that Middleborough was like right down the street. And this is like a story that not many people know. And that first year in Bridgewater was amazing. Like, it was awesome, and we just built a lot of time. And then next year they wanted $27,000 for practice and field fees, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta go somewhere else. And that's when I met Otto. Yeah, that's when I went to Taunton. But that player that I'll say his name because everybody knows him, Justin Pike, and I didn't really know him, but he tried stealing all my sponsors. He was like, "Why are you sponsoring this team? Don't sponsor them. They take away from us." And then I actually met Pike, and like, what a totally different person in person he is on internet. And I like to think that we like each other and everything, and we have a mutual respect, and we all just like football. And I'll never forget, he told me, he goes, "I thought you're like some, idiot." Oh, I think he said the C word. I thought you're some C word that was just building a team because you weren't happy. Like you did it the right way. Like it really made me feel good hearing that, And it's like we did it the right way.
In his head, I don't know if there's two people. Because when I was winning with the Gladiators, he had written, Shivers must know what he's doing because he continues to win. That was the last thing I've ever read from Pike. And then when I was bringing the Glads back this year, all of a sudden it became, I'm a C, I'm a cunt, or whatever, if I can't use that. I'm this, I'm that. You know what I mean? I'll never hold a team traditionally for 100 years. Pike, you didn't hold the team for 100 years. Like, stop holding people to standards that you don't even get to. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And, I don't want to use names. I really don't. But we both know what's going on. We both understand.
But he's someone that respects you, I bet.
Right. And I get that. But what I don't understand is when it's randomly presented. Like, I know it's strategic. And I see the strategy in it because what it does is it makes people think about leaving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why would I leave if this is what they're saying about him? You know what I mean? But like I was telling James earlier, I could start the Lakeville Tomahawks and I'll have 65 guys.
Right.
You know what I mean? I could start the Eastern Maine Sharpshooters and I'll still have 65 guys. Yeah. I could bring my core guys to any city in Massachusetts and start a team, and I will have 65 guys ready to play.
Yep.
And I won't. And you can make me sign any contract saying I won't take players from your team or whatever. You know what I mean? The one thing I do know is this: when Tom Teresi presented that rule in the room with all those teams there, not one team said this. We don't care if the Glads are in the league. Bring them on. Now, one team did that. Now, I know a few teams said they had no response either way. But if I'm saying I'm willing to play whoever, whenever, wherever, and the rule only applies for me, I think I probably would have said something like bring them on and schedule them for the first game of the year.
Yeah.
But that's just me. That's just shifts.
Yep. So it's funny because when I did start, when the culminated the Gladiators started, I remember talking to Peter O'Kane and talk about someone who is just lifelong. He's still 90-something years old, still going to semi-pro football games. And I spoke to him the other day, and he's an amazing person. They don't make people like him anymore. He's just like a unique person. But he always said to me, he goes, there's teams that play, like they used to have the Boston Park League where you'll have
Well, I remember.
like people, they're all from Boston. They're all right there. The next town over. He goes, that's what it is. It's like if you want to play football, you're going to play for that team that you like, and you're gonna play football. And that's,
I'm from Grove Hall, which is like the center of like inner city Boston.
Yeah.
So I would see the Bandits. My head coach in high school, Roosevelt Robinson, he played for the Cowboys, and when they won the championship. So I know the Park League very well.
Okay.
I grew up like those were my uncles, my friends down the street's dads. I knew all those guys. So it's funny. I totally forgot about semi-pro when I went to college. Like I just totally forgot it even existed. I went to UMass Amherst. I was there for a few years until my grandmother got sick. I came home and I just met a guy who played for the Oilers. I played for the Oilers for a few years, and the one thing that Peter always says is this: every time I see him, you've had a great career. Make sure you let them know that you started here with the Oilers. Every single time I see him, he tells me that.
That's awesome. There's a lot of people that started with the Oilers, and think about this. The Oilers, there's such a great tradition. It's just the Oilers were like a team that they were always. They could have. It was a team that I remember when we played them. The record never showed how good they were, because if you didn't show up to that game, you would have lost. And like
you would have lost.
Yeah. You have to show up to that game.
If you don't bring your squad and you take them lightly, that's your trap game.
Yep.
That's your undefeated season, and it's gone. And you probably could have gone undefeated.
Yeah. Yep. I'm really interested to see how Jug and Delaney, how those guys build this year with the Oilers, and lots of rumors out there. As the football spirals, I can maybe start talking about rumors, but it seems like there's a certain team right next to them that may be getting a influx of players, and I feel like the Oilers might surprise a lot of teams this year. I think they can get a lot of good players, and
I'm really excited about semi-pro and where it's going in general. You know what I mean? Eventually, all this my players, my area stuff will be gone.
Yeah.
I mean, social media changed semi-pro football so much.
Yeah.
And big shout out to my man Adam. Me and him have been doing the dad podcast. Well, not podcast, but the dad announcing during games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we've been having a blast doing it.
Yeah.
So it's like the next Facettis, the next Shivers, the next Peter O'Kane's, the next Garrett Perry's, they're out there. And, they're building and they're getting new talent that we have never seen before. You look at who the Bombers had last year. You look at who the Eagles have had over the past couple of years. You see what the Lions are bringing in now. Like, there are changes in semi-pro where 100-year teams aren't the dominant force anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sometimes it is just 55 friends who decided to take a tax check and make a team. You know what I'm saying? Like, semi-pro is about to go the way of social media and the internet. Quick, fast results.
Yeah.
And we're on the cusp of that. We're the dinosaurs.
I know.
We're the dinosaurs, bro.
I mean,
these guys, they're on Zoom. Like, they're Zooming meetings. I'm not even in the Zooms. Like, my offensive Zoom is early in the week. My defensive Zoom is right before practice.
Mm-hmm.
We never had that before. We show up and learn everything in one night.
Yep.
These guys, they're ready. They're faster. I would say they're less resilient, though. Like, we played in a harder era, less doctors. We went through with injuries. Now these guys roll an ankle and they're gone for 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
No disrespect. Yeah. But, I gotta let it be known,
Yeah, it is. I mean, we definitely played for a tougher era. I definitely believe that. So you played for the Oilers. Who else did you play for when you played? Cause
you're gonna laugh when you hear this too. When I came into semi-pro, I was 6 feet, 185 pounds, solid muscle. I was a cornerback.
Yep.
So my first game was against the Boston Bandits, yellow and blue versus yellow and blue, and it was one of the greatest games I've ever been a part of. And I left them to go play for the Boston Panthers, and I loved my experience with the Panthers because once I got national exposure, once I went to go play in like Vegas and meet people who like had connections, I was everywhere. I played in 2 Casino Bowls in Vegas, and then I got an offer to play in Austria, and then that was through a program called Euro Players.
Yep.
So what they would do is you make a profile, and then you send them some film, and then they'll fly you out, they'll get you insurance, a job, a place to stay, and you teach them how to play American football. So you become a coach and like an advisor. And that was all the rage back then because NFL Europe was a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm getting ready to fly out. I gave my job a 2 weeks notice. I was working at Fidelity Investments, so I had a dream job. And I had my girlfriend at the time who would later become my wife, and we broke up. And I explained, hey, I'm going to Europe. I'm going to Austria. I don't know what's going to happen.
And
I don't know what's going to happen. So the Boston Panthers ended up losing the next game. And the coach was like, hey, can you come down to practice and help us out? And I was like, cool, I don't mind.
Yeah.
So I grabbed my Panthers equipment. I get to practice early, and then I end up breaking my leg.
Oh.
Yeah. And when I say I broke it, I tore every tendon from the knee to the front of my foot, all the way back out the top of my leg. So I ended up breaking it twice. I went from 185 pounds to 280, sitting on the couch, just eating and collecting workers' compensation.
Yeah, workers'
Because back then, they didn't ask you how you hurt yourself.
Right? I was balancing some books. I fell and broke my leg.
Yeah, exactly. So it was good that I had a good job, but I ended up like that's how I got big. I was never a big guy. And then from there, I started the East Coast Ducks. And from there, I never looked back. I've been an owner ever since.
Yeah. And you did good with the Ducks, right? You didn't win a championship, but you got to the championship, right?
Yeah, we were ranked number 27 in the nation. We got to the championship game and faced the AAA team, the Saber Snacks. I mean, like we put on for the city. We were always a winning team. We always did stuff in the community, and that was my most that was the most I've ever done for individual people in semi-pro. I kept people out of jail. I helped people get their citizenship. One guy, we made a collection to pay his light bill. That team was like family. Like I really felt like those guys, I could go in their living room, open the fridge, and make a bowl of cereal.
Yeah.
And big shout out to Gary May. He's not known like a big name in semi-pro, but he's one of the greatest offensive coordinators to ever come through here. He coached with a couple of teams like the Colts and like some of the lesser known Boston teams. But between him and Kevin Polson, like those two guys, they need their name said more in semi-pro for the things that they did for players, and that they contribute to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I've never met Kevin Polson. I've heard nothing but great things about him. I've seen him. I've never gone up and actually introduced myself to him and stuff. So he's definitely a person that I definitely would want to talk to and meet. Like anybody that does what they do and does it for the love of the game, like he does. I just love to be able to chat with them. So that's one person I want to meet up with.
Well, Kevin passed a few years ago.
Oh,
so,
that's
so
right. I'm sorry about that.
One of my best friends, Kev, he just came into my life, and he made my family his and his family mine, and we just bonded over football. But we became brothers, and his family is still like family to me.
Is Mark his son?
Yeah, Mark is his son.
Okay, so Mark, you haven't.
He's one of my best friends, and he's been an admin on every team I've ever owned. And a big part of my success is the fact that he keeps me grounded and he keeps me focused on the task at hand.
Yeah. Sorry for your loss on that.
I think when Kev finally did go up to the big game in the sky, I think he was at about 8 rings. So, when it comes time for the AFA to give him some thought about coming in, I think that should be a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a defensive guy, correct? If I remember correctly.
Big defensive
All
guy.
defensive
Yep.
guys. Yeah.
Oh
So,
yeah. Yep.
heard
He
some.
was a big part. He was a big part of the Rage coming to the Gladiators.
Okay.
Because you got to remember, we lost about 30 players, and then the Rage came over, and we had to make guys who were already established on the Rage fit what we were doing on the Gladiators, and it worked. You know, he made it simple for everybody to do their jobs at a high level. So big respects to the Polson family and what they've done in semi-pro.
Yeah, and it's tough to, like you said, to get another team, a bulk of another team, to come into your organization and try to buy into the system when they're so used to their system and the way they did things. And what do you think was the hardest part of getting them to mold together and to gel together?
I'm going to tell you what the hardest part is. Getting them to trust me. So that was my second year with the Gladiators. And, you know, we had won the championship and everything, but you already know what the rhetoric was.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, he inherited a team. All he had to do was show up. He didn't really have to do anything. Would you hand the keys to a Ferrari to a toddler?
No.
Would you hand it to somebody who didn't have a license?
No.
Would you give it to your son-in-law that you just knows can drive a car and has one? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't give the keys to the Ferrari unless it was somebody that you knew could handle it and take care of it.
Absolutely.
So that's what I did. I drove the Ferrari. I parked the Ferrari. I didn't play with it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I didn't go out there looking for sponsors to put money in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go out there looking for, and this is what people don't understand. Yes, I do enjoy having my rings, but the glory's not for me. And like, it's really not. You know, it's for my players. Ask any of them that have ever played for me. They're getting shirts. They're getting hoodies. They're getting jerseys. I'm at their parents' house. Like, I go to their cookouts. Like, the glory's really not for me. But every now and then, I'm going to toot my horn. Because a lot goes into this.
Oh, yeah.
I've easily put $100,000 out
absolutely.
in semi-pro.
Absolutely.
I've easily bought $70,000 worth of jerseys. Easily. You know what I mean? So, yes, every now and then, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to put my rings on and I'm going to flex.
Absolutely.
But for the most part, you ask anyone that's ever really dealt with me in semi-pro, I'm laid back, bro. By the time you get to me, you've already made a mistake. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So,
well, it's funny.
That's that's what it comes down to, you know? The image, you know, what people believe and what you really are.
It's funny you say that because the last championship I won, my very last game coaching in the league, I played Nashville. That was a real game. That was half my team. So the very last game, I won the championship, and I never took a picture with me with the trophy. It's all for the players. Like, let them enjoy it. Let them have their fun. And you know, it's funny when you think like that. It's like, I don't do it for me. I do it for them, and that's why we do what we do. Is for them. It's not like we're not trying to get any, you know, hey, look at me, I'm an owner of a team. No, we're doing it because we want to help everybody, and they're truly our friends. And I can call up, even today, I've talked to 3 people that I coached, you know, in the last 5 years today. Just like either a Snapchat or text messages or Facebook's, like just chatting, like, hey, what's up, what's new? And it's like that bond, that relationship lasts forever. And it's just, and we do it for them, and they know that, and they're gonna be forever indebted because, I don't want to say indebted, but they're gonna love you because of everything you've done for them.
I sell these guys houses. I do their insurance. I help their claims. If they get into an accident, I'm the one on the scene to help pick them up. You know what I mean? Like, I've been at these guys like kids' birth. I've been at weddings.
Yeah.
So it's like they get it. Shivs isn't here just for the football. He's here for us.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they get a little carried away. Like this one guy, oh my gosh. Like, he messaged me, he wanted me to help co-sign for something, and I just act like I didn't see the message.
Yeah, co-signing a little too much.
Listen, I have limits. I got limits.
Yeah.
Like, I got your back, whatever you need, but come on now.
Yeah. I mean, I've done letters of recommendation. I've written letters to help a person stay out of jail. Like, it's stuff like
I've done it.
We've done that stuff. It's the things that we do just because we
love.
You
know what? You want to hear something? This might have been the peak of semi-pro. This was about 2017. a star player for a team that he didn't even play for me. He posted in the forum, you know what? I'm done with everything. And then everybody went looking for him. The owner of his team, I went looking for him. Everybody hit the streets of Brockton and went looking for this player. It was the most I've seen everybody come together in semi-pro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we found him. One of the owners found him. You know, they pulled him aside. He was having a real hard time at home. And, like, you don't know what could have happened that night.
Yeah.
You know, if we didn't love and care for each other. But we found him, and he ended up turning it around like 360 degrees.
Yeah.
He's a family man now. The guy has a great job, great career. And when I talk to him, he's happy, and he smiles, and he's jovial, you know? And I always think back to that post and how we all came together. And it just makes me feel good.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So I do want to talk a little bit about the Cardinals, you know, and like, you know, having that, and don't want to like segue out of that because it's such a great story and it's like that's what we're here for. But I do want to get rolling on like some content here, some meat and potato stuff.
All right, let's talk about the Cardinals.
Two-time defending champions, the
Yep.
only ones to win spring, right?
Yep, spring's ours. For now.
Spring's yours. Do what I want to do. Bear with me here, because you can't see. I thought of that, so I want to do something where I want to show you. All right, can you let me know if you can see this? Because I'm gonna roll over. Oh, there we go. Let's see if you can see this here. It looks like it's good here.
There we go.
All right,
Yep,
this
I see
is
it.
last year's game. I kind of want to do some quick highlights. It's only like a 2-minute long video, but
Yep, go for it.
right now, so you guys kick off. They started. This is the Golden Lions. They started out hot. They wanted this game. They got a nice return. You see the toughness in this team. But your defense was absolutely amazing on this game. So that was a great return. Scoreless in the first half. Then this is in the second quarter. Scoreless in the first quarter. Second quarter looks like they're playing a cover 3 sky miss assignment on the corner, unless this was a roll. But that was a great read by Drew. Touching. I don't know who that is. That Storm Smith.
Yep, that's Storm.
Storm, he's amazing. But yeah, great, just a misread on this team. They did a really good job at containing you guys. So this is in the second half, second quarter, right before the halftime, trying to make something out of it, turn the ball over. So Lions like, oh, we got this. Like their defense was amazing as well. You know, really good pick. And then this right here was showing more toughness and grit from the Lions, where they come in, they block a punt. You know, you think, all right, they got some good field position now. They maybe can come back here. So your defense though played sideline to sideline. Like this play right here, swarming to the ball, huge play. You end up stopping them on fourth down. Goes to the fourth quarter. This is kind of the play that changed the game. Bad snap. The punter's trying to run for it. Kind of looks like me punting out there, and he gets down. This really kind of sealed the game for you guys. Get the ball right at the 2-yard line. Give it to stud McNally. And he just punches it in for 6, and you go up 14-0. But the Lions didn't. They did not. They did not give up. They drove down, ended up hitting this guy wide open at a skinny post, or not sure what exactly he was running. But you know, scored a touchdown, makes it a game. They believe it was 14-7, and that's kind of how it ended. Then they have one last chance to make it. You guys deflected it down and won the championship. And this is you guys winning the championship and enjoying it. So I want to do a lot of that stuff going forward, where I'm doing like highlights.
That was nice. I
So
like that. I like that.
That was my run. That was my quick quick highlight. See how I can do it. Hopefully you guys liked it on the podcast. So
That was cool. I like that.
awesome. So that game was a lot closer than even it was a close score, but that game they were a tough team, and you know you guys really that one bad snap on punt kind of sealed it for you guys. And so you had the bad snap on the punt, you got it down, the ball bounced your way, and then you had a miss communication on their part to have you guys obviously saw it well and you hit it. So do you think that your players, do you think they're more complacent this year, like, or do they have like, hey, that was a game we fought hard for? Like how's the mentality with the guys?
Honestly, it's the spring. You know what I mean? And one of the things that people often do in spring is overlook it. And what I've been telling people for the last 2 years is spring football is hard hitting. It's some action out there. Like you would gotta go to a game. You gotta find a team to watch on a live stream and just watch the game. You know, it might not have the notoriety that summer does right now, but give it a few more years, and you might see some of the better teams. Like even the Brooklyn Seminoles, like they play spring now,
Yep.
and it's some really hard hitting football. And I'll tell you this: when we saw the Lions on paper, we knew. I was like, we knew it was going to be us and them, or it was going to be us and the Warhawks. And then we saw them on the field and watched their tape, and we were like, these guys are legit. They're
Right.
legit. They put a team together not to play football, but to win.
Yeah.
And we knew we were going to have to overcome that. And one of the things I told the team was, we're going to have to play past the first hit. We're going to have to play past the first grab, the first tackle, the first touch. We're going to have to play real leaning forward football against a team like that. And one of the things our defense just doesn't do is they don't give up.
Yeah.
They believe they're the best athletes on the field, even over our offense. And they go out there and they play to prove it every single time we play. Now, you already know, like Menace, like that's his thing. He loves defense. He loves the videos of it. He loves looking at what teams run. He likes dissecting it and putting it together with the people around him. And then I put a staff around him of guys who worked with me, worked with Kev, worked with Mark. So we've got a lot of defensive intelligence.
Yeah.
And defense wins games. And in that game, you saw it wasn't a shootout. It was a matter of who was going to make the less mistakes and who was going to contain the bigger hitters. And we just happened to be that team that day.
Yep. Awesome. And you guys, your defense was dominant last year. It was just very, very strong defense, and props to you guys. Now, I do know that this year you have a couple of different coaches, right? So
yeah, we do. I brought in a few more guys who were on my Gladiator staff, and I brought in Nick Boucher. I don't know Boucher. I don't know if you know him, but he was a quarterback in high school.
Okay.
And he's working with our quarterbacks. Just making sure line of sight, making sure we see things before they happen, before he goes off to college.
Right.
Yep.
So, do you think the Scott's done, right? No more Scott.
Scott's done. I would love to have Scott back, though. Scott, if you're listening, help.
I got my speed dial.
We can always use an offensive brain, and Scott and I have done great things together. Like we've done great things together. So that's my guy all day.
Him and I go back long ways. So love Scott
Him and
too.
I go back to when he played for Quincy and I played for Boston. And this is the funniest thing. There's only two people that I met playing for another team and said, one day you're going to play for me. Drew Bolton, when he played for Quincy.
Yep.
I met him, I met his parents, and I was like, dude, if I ever start on a team, you're my quarterback. And I was playing for Boston at that time. I don't even know what even triggered me to think about if I owned a team. But it sounded like the right thing to say to him after the game. We won the game, but man, that dude played like Jake Plummer. Like, you could slam him on his neck, you could flip him, fold him, doesn't matter. He's getting up and he's about to sling that rock. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And the other one, McNally.
Yep.
When I took over the Glads, McNally had already left. And he said, I'll never come back. And I was like, that's cool. It's whatever. You're going to play for me one day. And he laughed. And then when I made the call for him to come play for us on the Cardinals, he was more than willing to do it. So big shout-outs to Drew and big shout-outs to McNally.
And I've had the pleasure of coaching both of those guys too. And I had Drew the COVID year, which he just got out of the surgery, so he wasn't 100%. And it's just, I wish he was 100% when I had him, because he's been, to me, he's someone that I think is an amazing amazing human being and quarterback. And he can read, he knows what's going on. And, I've had some good quarterbacks, and Drew is, up there, one of the best I've had. And he's just someone who, he's mobile, he can throw the ball, he's smart. Like I said, he read that, sky coverage or the misread on that. Like, he can see the football field. And McNally, I mean, the guy's just, I love the dude. He can, whatever he needs, I'm there for him.
I've never seen one person tackle McNally.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. Not one person, head to head. It's that person and McNally, and that person make the tackle.
Yeah, and
I've seen Drew Bolton. Excuse me. I've seen Drew Bolton run a certain linebacker clean off his cleats.
Really?
I won't embarrass him, but just know I know and I got the film. And you keep messing with me and I'm going to post it. I seen Drew Bolton knock you out your cleats on a one-on-one for the end zone. So I'll leave it at that.
I mean, even I used to call him even Fat Nally when he gained that weight a couple years back. Even Fat Nally was jumping over everybody.
I said McNally's. It don't make sense. He's fast. He's wide. He's like low. He's strong. All of that in a running package, and he doesn't get tired.
Yep.
Like that, and it's the military. I know it is. It's
Absolutely.
the military. Yeah. So it's like, thank you for all that you've done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Now, is he back again with you, or did he hang it up too?
He's got the invitation.
Okay.
Whenever he's ready, he's got an open door. Scott has an open door. Dev has an open door. I respect those guys too much not to want talent like that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But you gotta have guys who, like, just know that you're there for them. You know what I mean? Like, do you remember Kari Langham?
Oh yeah.
Tight end for the Cobras? Open door. That's my guy. I used to throw him passes in high school. That's how far back we go.
Wow.
But, like, he knows if you ever wanted to come be a Cardinal, the door's open. You know what I'm saying? I mean, our team this year, which is wild, is faster. We're faster, man. Our defense, it's gotten tougher. It's going to be real hard to move the ball against us this year.
Yeah, and having Junior too as a quarterback to help lead the way too, that's going to be a big game changer there. And
I just bought him a new GST too. He's happy to go.
Love it. I still have nightmares.
That's all it takes. All it takes is you just treating the guy how he's supposed to be treated. He's a quarterback. Make sure he has a ball.
Exactly.
Now he has a ball.
I still have nightmares back. I think it was 2019, playing him in the semifinals when he was at GSD, and I was like, "Dude, this boy's so good. Like, he's an athlete. He's a freaking nature.
So athletic.
So,
yep.
Yeah.
But remember, we also had RJ Vereen.
Yeah.
RJ Vereen rolled off the couch and threw 5 touchdowns.
I remember. Is he with you again this year, RJ?
He's on the roster.
I love it. I think it was. I forget who was it. The Fury or like the Lemons. He played for one team.
Yeah, he played for the Fury.
Was it somebody else though?
All those guys.
I thought he played for another team too. I know he played for the Bandits for a little bit as well.
He played for the Bandits for a little bit, yep.
But I thought it was Fury. I thought there was another team in between, like the Leominster team or something. Anyways, I saw the kid. I was like, that kid's talented. Like, I think it was Leominster, not the Razorbacks, or maybe the Mats Phoenix. He played for Phoenix. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I saw him. I was like, that kid has a lot of talent.
Yep.
So, I know that. Let's see. Nobody's asking a question. They're saying McNally is a stud, which we know that. As for the season, so going on our third spring, our 9th overall season as East Coast Football League. As an owner, what would you want? And me being a new commissioner, I'm always going to ask you, like, what can I do for you guys, for you as an owner, to help have this be the best spring season you've ever had? Is there anything?
So just so you know, we have groups that you're not in.
Cool.
So and that's just so that we keep complete understanding that as owners we have the rights to talk about what we want. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's like a group. It is what it is. And the one thing that you have brought to the ECFL that we're all very happy with is you respond right away. You get to the problem right away, and a solution is presented, or you get your no right away. I'm not waiting a week for a no. You know what I mean? Or a yes. Like, I get it right away. Whether it's for me or against me, I'm going to have my answer from you within 24 hours. You have no idea how much we appreciate that.
Well,
because that allows us to get to what we need to do to correct it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And nothing against any of the other commissioners, but I didn't feel I knew them. They were just there. And then we would reach out, and then they would have a meeting and get together, and then finally somebody will respond. Where with you, you'll message me right away. Hey, Shivs, what's going on? Hey, this, and this. All right, let me check this, and this. Great. And I'll hear back from you in a couple hours.
Yeah.
So as long as you stay responsive, even if you have to give me the hard no, I'd rather get that than wait a week and get it before the game.
Right.
So keep doing that. Keep that as part of the energy you bring, because one of the things that we were all having a problem with is the league felt lazy. It felt like when you went to the league for something, it's going to take forever. So then we'd reach out to each other. I'd reach out to Bailey, or I'd reach out to Bob, or I'd reach out to Tex, you know what I mean? And we would try to resolve it without the league. but you are so responsive, you're so Johnny on the ball that we can relax a little bit. You make our job easier. So just keep up with that, and I think we're going to be fine. And I
Awesome.
think we'll grow, actually.
Oh, absolutely. And I've been
Yeah,
so as you mentioned, spring is growing, and I think a lot
yeah,
more teams are looking at spring. I actually got a phone call from some teams in other areas of the country, and contacted me, and they're asking me like, "Hey, what's going on with this?" But just like kind of things that they're telling me that pretty much all the other leagues are kind of turning into spring leagues now. So it is kind of interesting hearing that, because if there's a lot of teams that say, "Hey, we're going to be doing," the league's not even doing summer anymore, just doing spring. It's very interesting to see what that dynamic is going to end up being with like nationals and just growing in general as leagues. So it's yeah, it's something that's going to be interesting to kind of watch the landscape of semi-pro from the next like 5 years. And for me, I'm always someone's always have an open mind. I'm going to look at what's going to be best for the league, and if we can, how best to grow to make this the best league in the country. And that's kind of what I'm always looking for.
Semi-pro's been changing. I would say since, I mean, honestly, not no two to me, but since I've been in the game,
Yeah.
from the jerseys to the way people respond, we don't even use the 1 and 2 year contract system anymore. It's literally per team, as
Yep.
it should be. The main thing that I believe, and I see it starting to happen. I hated how long we would go into the season with the Gladiators. Loved the winning, loved what we did. But man, when you're playing a game deep into the fall and it is freezing outside and no one's in the stands, but just like the loyal faithful players, teammates, fans,
Yep.
it's tough, bro. It's tough. So when at our latest game in the spring, the sun shining, the birds around, you got whole families walking past the park who decide, let me bring my kids in here to see some football. I'm not saying that that's where semi-pro's going, but I kind of like it. I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
And, I was asked to bring the Glads back by a bunch of ex-Glad players who just wanted to play from the end. They didn't want to play spring. They said we only want to play AAA ball. So that was my purpose for bringing the Glads back. When that whole thing got finagled or whatever, I still got spring. So when spring is done, I'll be able to go to AAA games. I'll be able to go on vacation. I got Thailand planned for my birthday. So
Perfect.
it's like, oh well, like I know we would have done very well in the summer, but I guess we'll wait till 2026 to see what happens.
I'm not gonna lie. Last year, I literally just separated from football, and I had like a summer with my family. I was like,
Isn't it wild?
wow, I can like hang out,
It
get
was
totally
wild,
shit
wasn't it?
faced at like 12 o'clock on a Saturday. This is awesome. So it's yeah, it's wild, but it's I do miss it. I miss football, and it's like I just can't leave it, and it's something that I've always loved, have a passion, and it's like
It's a party. You
yeah,
miss the camaraderie.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's but yeah, you'll have the summertime, and I know like so going on with the Gladiators, and I know like when you bring them back, they're going to be dominant again. Like you know they're going to have
That's
that.
the plan, yeah.
It's just it's the players come here, and the players just believe in that winning attitude, and then the positivity with the team. So like no matter what, you're going to be successful even if you don't win a championship with that team. Bring them back.
Yeah.
What so? Let the people here. They probably want to know like what happened. Like what was the like you were
So
all set to go, and then teams started jumping to another league.
just so people know, I do things almost a year in advance
Yep.
because, like I said, I want my no early so I can adjust. We reached out to the NFL, we reached out to the EFL, and we were already quote unquote accepted into the ECFL. We just hadn't committed as of yet.
Hmm.
Our main issue was, and this is what the Gladiator veterans told me themselves, they only want to play AAA ball, and they only want to play in a league that was going to have the Bandits, because that's an established AAA team,
Yep.
and a few other, AAA teams.
Sure.
They
Yeah.
didn't want to play in a league where we were going to be doing crossovers with AA, no
Hmm.
disrespect,
Yep.
and they really didn't want to play EFL, but we didn't get the EFL invite anyway. So we were okay with that. Like, we're big fans of the EFL. If they wanted to do private and get themselves situated, we were good with that. So we figured the NFL was the way to go. Now, I spoke to Garrett Perry back in August of 2024, and I spoke to Bustin Olivier. Shout out to the Bandits. I'm one of their sponsors this year, and I wanted to make it clear I wanted to be where they were. GP told me he had no problem with us coming into the league at all and welcomed us. And I told him wherever you guys are is where I want to be because I want to do the war on 44. We need that back in semi-pro. He was down 100%, gave me his thumbs up. So Tom reached out to me, told me they were having the meeting, and he would let me know how it goes. I said, Tom, all I need is a yes or a no so I can announce it. I have a picture of a gladiator with 3 cups. And the cup in his hand is the NEFL, and the 2 cups on the table are the ECFL and the EFL.
Yep.
You know, we've been selected into the. I never got to use the picture because Tommy called me the next day and said, "Hey, Will, I know you remember this rule. We used this rule on you before with the Ducks, where if the team's too close, then you can't be presented into the league." So I asked him. I said, "Well, who would care?" And he was like, "The Cobras. The Cobras care whether you're in the league or not." I said, "Did they vote against us?" And he wouldn't tell me. So then I reached out to a few other owners, and no one would say the Cobras voted against us. So I won't go as far as saying the Cobras voted against us. But what I will say is this. The rule was presented, and nobody said, we don't care. Nobody said, schedule them week 1, we want the beef. What they did was no one said nothing, and then I get the message that we're not in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And because the Bandits had already went there was no AAA place for us to be.
Right.
So we thought about doing a independent schedule where the Gladiators versus 10 opponents, and we'll figure it out from there. But when you have the Cobras coming into your house, you get a full house.
Yep.
When you got the Bandits coming into your house, you get a full house. No one's coming to see Gladiators versus Hitman, no disrespect. No one's coming to see Gladiators versus GSD, no disrespect. Yep. And it has nothing to do with those teams. It's the names.
Absolutely.
There's certain names that are like transcendent in semi-pro circles, especially where we live.
Yeah.
Because where we live, that was Cobra Country.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I get a part of why they don't want us there. However, you can't tell me War on 44 wouldn't have been great for semi-pro football this year.
Would have been amazing. I mean, I would have gone.
You can't tell me that.
Yeah. It would have been an epic showdown as always, and
it would have been a great game. It would have been a great game.
Yep. It's really mind-boggling that that's like just a league saying, Marlboro Shamrocks, and before they fought, like, no, we don't want you coming in because you're too close to a team. Like, they're the Marlboro Shamrocks. You're the Taunton Gladiators. If Middleborough goes, we want to come into the team, and say something happened to them, and 2 years later they want to come back, anybody said, we don't want the Middleborough Cobras back, that's lunacy. I'm sorry. Like, you just don't do that. And, I mean, I'm not bashing.
We've played in the same leagues before.
Right, exactly.
In the same leagues before.
Yeah. Yep. I mean,
the fact that the War 44 is even a thing attests to the fact that we've been in the same league before.
Yeah.
So you take your lumps when they come, and then you just, you figure out your chess pieces for your next move.
Yep. So a couple questions we got out there. So Jeff is asking, what's your thoughts on AAA ball? How many true AAA teams are out there in New England? So I'll let you answer. If you want me to answer, I can answer as well. But
here's what I think, and I think this is just the way it is. Some AAA teams aren't meant to win championships. It's the same thing in the NFL. It's the same thing in the NBA. It's the same thing in hockey. Not everyone is meant to win championships in that year. So technically, if you are a startup team within the last 5 years,
I lost you, Shivs, right when you're getting good on this. Hopefully you didn't. Hopefully your phone didn't die out. But let me. Not sure if you can hear me. But we've been talking for a while, so hopefully your phone battery didn't die because you're paused on Zoom. So, anyways, for me, I'll answer that question for you, Jeff, on that. So, we're doing something a little different this year in the ECFL where we're not really breaking down divisions. We're just kind of... I wonder if it's my Zoom that canceled on him. It was. It might have been my connection. Hopefully, you guys, I'm still on here. It looks like I'm still on here. So,
Am I back?
hey, Chiv, yeah, you're back. Awesome. Well,
All right.
don't know what
I
just
remember
happened
right where I
there.
left off. I remember right where I left off.
Awesome.
Not everyone's meant to win the championship this year, and that's just the way it is. So I don't think single A should exist. I think single A helped me personally as a way to get into the league and establish a team. I think that's the only reason, only thing it should be used for. Also, this is going to sound kind of mean, but it is the way it is. I think any single A champion should have single A on their ring. I think that's something they have to be just like you have to put that aside. You know what I mean? Back in my day, it was NEFL 2. You played 6 games, you figured out who your team was, and then you joined the league. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I think single A needs to be out of the picture. You're either going to be a triple A team and be one of the big dogs or in the middle of the pack, or you're going to be in double A. But you know you're in double A. You know the goal is to get out of double A. You know what I'm saying? And I think there needs to be more leadership pushing for that. You know, like and I'll take nothing away from anyone who might have won a double A ring, a single A ring, or whatever. You know what I mean? But everyone knows there's levels to this.
Yeah.
And I would love to see everyone aspiring to beat the AAA top dogs. I would love it. I played for mid-level teams. I played for Randolph. I played for the Panthers when we were 4-6. You know what was the best part of our season? We beat Middleborough in Boston on a kickoff return for a touchdown.
Nice.
They smoked us every single time, but that one game, we talk about it to this day. You know what I mean? And that's the heart that these teams need to have. We're gonna see each other twice. I'm gonna get one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would love to see all the leagues either say we're AAA only with a double A component, or just get rid of single A completely and just goes AAA double A.
Perfect.
That's what I like to see.
So I kind of came up with something this year that we're gonna test out with the ECFL, and I think I love the idea. I thought it was great, and I proposed this with all the other teams, and they.
Is it like soccer where you have to move up with certain amount
No,
of wins?
not at all. It's like so. I got the idea from basically March Madness, right? So the way it works is we're one division, AAA division. Everybody's AAA. That's what you are. But based on the teams that you have, let's just say, so we have 10 to 12 teams that we're going to have this season. So the first 4, we'll call it the first 4, whoever the top 4 teams are with record-wise, they play for the AAA championship in the league. Then 5 through 8, they play for the AA championship.
I like that.
Yep. So therefore,
Can you imagine the last 2 weeks of that season?
Dude, insane.
Oh, man, insanity.
And like
People
something
would go crazy.
right? And like that's going to keep teams going. It's going to keep teams like, no, hey, we're going to be in the playoffs, and we have a chance to win AA. We have a chance to win AAA, like whatever it is. And I feel that that's just going to. I'm not someone that says bring teams down. Right now, semi-pro is bringing teams down to AA. I'm someone who wants to bring teams up to AAA.
We need more teams up.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
So we have this one division and this one conference, but there's still going to be AAA and AA championship. Now, say we grow and there's like a single A squad. Yeah, whoever wins can move up, but like we could still have a single A if that's the case. But this
Can you imagine a Cinderella team?
It prevents. Right. Like think about like teams that come out like the Valley Generals can come out and win a championship this year because they have to win 2 games and win a AAA championship. They get that 4th seed or 3rd seed or whatever it is, and they can win the AAA championship on what a ball bounces their way. So this avoids sandbagging. This avoids and it gives you full like, hey, this is who we are. Like, granted, there are teams that just aren't going to win. Like we know that there's teams that just.
But it gives them something to aspire to.
Absolutely, it gives them.
I like that a lot.
So this right here.
Tell more owners that, because I guarantee you that is something people will pick up on.
Yep. Well,
I like that a lot.
I presented that before, like, and mind you, when I joined, I had a couple days, and then I went on vacation. I come back, and the whole world changed, right? The ECFL changed because so many people they weren't really around. They didn't know what I could do. So I presented that, like, that's my idea, and the one thing was, I don't like the fact that AAA team can win AA championship because they might sandbag. Like, no team, like, I've never once told my team to say, hey, let's lose so we can win a lesser trophy. Like the AAA trophy is still going to be that big ass AAA trophy. That AA trophy is going to be that thing over my shoulder, like whatever that. Like,
I have one of those.
Yeah, yeah, like that's what it is. Like you earn. I just feel it's going to be a lot better because now teams aren't hiding from competition. Right. They're going to force themselves to get better, and they're going to get that first four. Like everybody's goal. If I had a North and a South, so North team, North Division, South Division, North wins and the South wins. Their champions play together, but they win their conference champion, South Conference champion, then they have a ECFL championship. That's how I wrote it up, and then, like you said, we don't want to play AA teams. The fact is, there's no AA teams. We're all AAA.
There is none. We're all AAA.
And that's the mindset. I feel like anything in life, it's a mindset. If you have that mindset of being AAA, then you're just gonna be a little bit better. Like you're gonna get there. And then
that would help with recruiting too.
Absolutely.
You could be like, you know what? I'm gonna just join another AAA squad, and it could be any squad in the league.
Yeah, do a AAA.
Help aspire to win the AAA championship. Yep. That is a great idea.
So I'm hoping. I'm hoping this catches on.
See, that's why you're the commissioner. Keep that brain working.
Thank you. It should catch on. I think it's I mean, I'd love to see more teams do it because I don't feel like, honestly, it's a way for teams to say, I don't want to play the big competition. I want to win the smaller trophy. Like, how is that gratifying? Like, granted, I won the AA championship, and it was gratifying. It was great. I won, but I've won AAA championships too, and like, it feels good no matter when you win. But knowing that you beat the best, and no one can say that you weren't the best, that is gratifying. But I also know that you need to build.
See, my first year in spring, we didn't win. We were undefeated, but we lost to the Warhawks in the playoffs. So, and that's why we have that kind of rivalry going on right now when we play the first game of every year. When we won, it felt good. It did feel good to win spring.
Hold on. So the Warhawks won the championship the first year?
Yes. But it was in the IFL.
Oh, okay, I got you. That's why.
But since the ECFL has had Sunday spring, we've dominated.
Gotcha.
And even that year with the Warhawks, we dominated. They just got us on a good day, and that can happen anywhere. So you know, Sunday Pro is what it is. So the ring that we won in the first one with the ECFL, it felt good because no one had done it before. We were the first the first spring champions, East Coast Cardinals, and then we did it again. Now it feels right because the competition level is where it should be, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we got dog fights now, and then we have some games that aren't. But, like, if we can figure this out with that philosophy that you have, man, oh man, those last playoff games would be barn burners.
Yep.
Man, I'd pay to watch those.
That's and like we could even go like 6 teams in the playoffs, or however we can structure it. This year, I think we can go 4-4. I just think that fits well with the structure we have. But like we have 30 teams. Like you can always adjust your playoff structure what you need to. But I'm going to have us saying like, hey, the fight for the first 4. Like who's going to get that top 4 in the summer? So that's kind of like where we're looking at. I'm excited because I do feel that it's just going to keep competition, and like you can have a team like the Thundercats go out there and they have great recruiting, and next thing you know they're in the mix, and like holy crap, here's a Cinderella story like you're mentioning. It just gets
any
exciting.
Weekend you line those 11 guys up and they think they got a chance.
Yep.
Woo.
And it avoids people saying, oh, you're playing AA, you're playing AAA. That's just a mindset. Like I've been on AAA teams, I've been on AA teams. Honestly, there's a lot of AA teams that can play AAA. A lot of AAA teams can play AA.
Yep.
It's just, hey, it's football. Strap up and let's play. And that's kind of like my attitude and my mentality. It's like, I don't care who's in front of me. I don't care. I'm going to go 100%, whether I'm coaching, whether I'm playing. It's just, I'm going to go all out. And that's just my attitude. And now as a commissioner, I'm just going to go all out. So this is my attitude. So
I appreciate it. At least I know for what we're getting as a part of the league is you. I'll take that all day.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Yep.
Do you have any words to say with for your team, or have a big game coming up this weekend?
I gotta give some shout outs, and then I'm gonna say a few words, and then I'm out your way.
Perfect.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do some shout outs, I'm gonna say some words, and then I'm gonna leave with a quote. Okay? All right. Shout outs to the Boston Bandits. Since I was a kid, I used to see the yellow helmets around the community. I've aspired to be as good, if not better, than them because of who they are. So big shout outs to the Boston Bandits. Big shout outs to the Bombers. You took in a lot of my players and you gave them a home. They feel like they're there and they're comfortable. That's all I can ask for. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I am a sponsor of the Boston Bandits. I am also a sponsor of the Bombers. So the money I would have spent on the Gladiators, I'm going to give it to you guys. Let you guys do your thing. Bring me a chip home. I got to give a shout out to the entire staff on the Cardinals. You guys do everything that you need to do to be prepared, and we're going to find out Saturday who we are as men. Big shout out to my boy James Menace. I don't know if you guys know, I've known Menace since he was 4, since he was a kid. We grew up together. So when you see us arguing like brothers or us coming together and doing things like making the Cardinals, that's what it's all about. It's brotherhood. So you may think one thing, but what the actuality is completely different. And lastly, here is what I have to say about Semi-Pro in a nutshell for all the owners. Who cares if they don't like you? Go out and win. Do your thing. And understand, the other owners, we get it. We understand. We're not here to take from you. We're not here to hurt you. But if we all work together, think about what we could accomplish. That's it.
Absolutely great. Wise words from a wise man. Thank you, Shivs. I'm looking forward to having a great season with you this year, and many more of these podcasts too. You've been great. It's been awesome. So thanks a lot for everything you do for football as well.
And appreciate everything that you've done for me with the Gladiators, with the Cardinals, with everything. You've always been a big part of my success, and I'm very thankful.
Thanks, man. I'm here for you if you need anything. You know that. So.
Commissioner out.
Cool. No, thanks, Shivs. Thanks, everything, and we'll talk later on. So I'll see you this weekend. Good luck.
Take it easy, guys.
Awesome. Thanks. All right, there we go. That was Shivs, William Shivers from the East Coast Cardinals. Really good talk on that. Some really good football advice. So if you're a player, you're looking for a squad, you're still out there, biggest thing is finding owners that are going to work hard for you. And as you can see, we do a lot more than just, we don't do it for the glory. We do it for the players. And that's kind of why we as owners, and me as a past owner, we did it because we love the game, and we want players to have that outlet for that game. So that being said, thank you guys for listening. If you guys can just hit that like and subscribe buttons, it helps me out as a podcast to get started, especially you want to get more notoriety. Eventually want to take this podcast going pretty large, pretty wide, so please just do me a favor, hit subscribe, hit like. It helps me out tremendously. Thank you for the feedback with everything, and the game is at East Boston, Dontreese. They will be playing at 5:30, and the Boston Chargers at 1 o'clock, so there's a doubleheader there. So you can go get a look at some good football, and it's going to be a fun day in East Boston this weekend, so I can't wait to be there. I might be announcing the game, which would be good, and then you'll see the highlights next Wednesday night here on As the Football Spirals. There's a lot more news to be said. We kind of touched upon it a little bit with the Bombers and the Bandits, as Shivs was talking about. So a lot of really cool stuff going on, and that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for letting me and Shivs talk your ear off about an hour and a half, and I appreciate this. Thanks for being interactive. We had a lot of people commenting, which is awesome. Thank you, and please come back, listen to it again next week. Should be great. Should be the first week of diving into the action. We'll have a updated ranking system that we're going to be doing, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you guys so much. Thanks for listening. Once again, just hit like, subscribe, and see you guys next week.
Stadium lights glisten like disco balls. Quarterback flows dodging D-line walls. End zone dreams in the hearts of teams. Hustle on the field, ain't no in-betweens. As the football spirals, fate unravels. Heartbeats sink, players travel. Grind don't stop, whistle blows echo. Field warriors Touchdown dances, crowd in trances, game time magic, endless chances. As the football spirals, fate unravels, heartbeats sink, players travel, grind don't stop, whistle blows echo, field warriors, the heroes echo. Coaches with plans, plays drawn in sand, grit and sweat, team tighter than a band. Hail Mary hopes, defenders in scopes, victory's a taste, better than a rope. Cheers rain loud, pride in the crowd, moments freeze, memories are vowed. Helmet to helmet, clash and conquer, legends born, others left to ponder. As the football spirals, fate unravels, heartbeats sink, players travel, grind don't stop, whistle blows echo, field warriors, the heroes echo. Cleats dig deep, turf beneath, receivers leap like a midnight thief. Touchdown dances, crowd in trances, game time magic, endless chances. As the football spirals, fate unravels, heartbeats sink, players travel, grind don't stop, whistle blows echo, field warriors, the heroes echo. Coaches with plans, plays drawn in sand, grit and sweat, team tighter than a band. Hail Mary hopes, defenders in scopes, victory's a taste, better than a